Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. This is KST's Halacha Review and Counting the Omer for Tuesday, May 19th. Today is 40 days of the Omer. Hayom Arba'im Yom Shehem Chamisha Shavuos V'Chamisha Yamim LaOmer. Day 40, we are getting there. We're getting close. We've been speaking the last couple of days about what particular concerns we should have in mind when Shavuos comes out on a Friday, as it does this year. It's Shavuos always a 2-day Yom Tif in the diaspora outside of Israel. So it's Friday and Shabbos coming up in a week and a few days. So here's yesterday we spoke about the custom of eating dairy meat dairy food and then or kiddush and then having a meat meal after that. So another thing that he mentions here is that every week men are obligated to read the upcoming Torah portion to themselves. It's called Shnayim Mikra, shorthand reference Shnayim Mikra. Really mean the longer form is Shnayim Mikra ve'echad Targum, to read it two times in the original Hebrew, and then one time in the Aramaic translation of Onkelos. Onkelos' translation is included in most every translation of every publication of Torah of Chumash that you'll find. Also, many people read it nowadays in English, so we get the gist of what's going on. So that's the idea of reviewing the parsha. First of all, a couple interesting things to say about that. I saw a tshuva in the last couple of weeks by Rabbi Herschel Schachter, who's the main posek for the YU Yeshiva University community, looked on, widely respected amongst the broad spectrum of modern Orthodoxy, discussing this question of Shnayim Mikra. So the question was that someone saw a reference somewhere that Shnayim Mikra, reading the Parsha twice in Hebrew and once in Aramaic or in English translation, is meant to be done, quote unquote, with the congregation. In other words, whatever Parsha the congregation is reading that week, that's the one you should review. There are some weeks when Israel and the diaspora are out of sync because of the way that Yom Tifs fall out, and so one community has extra Shabbos with a Parsha in it, where the other community is still celebrating Yom Tif. So we get thrown off a little bit. We get our synchronous Torah reading a little bit out of whack. So it's whatever Parsha they're reading wherever you are, that's the one you review. So the question came up is, if nobody's reading, let's say that nobody's reading the Torah portion this week, because in our shul, like most shuls that I know, there is no public Torah reading this Shabbos or last Shabbos or the Shabbos before. Open parentheses, I believe there are some communities, I just read, someone pointed out to me in the paper last week that in Montreal they are having these porch minyanim, where people from adjacent porches get together, form a minyan, daven, read the Torah, and so on. Someone else pointed out to me the week before that one place where where Jews are reading Torah constantly and have not missed a parsha is in prison. Unfortunately, those Jews who are confined to prison and have a regular minyan, there was no reason for them, as far as I know, to stop those public readings. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Anyway, we'll talk about it a lot more, I'm sure, between now and Simchas Torah, when we celebrate our conclusion of reading the Torah. Of course, there will be a number of months, 2 months and counting, when we have not read the Torah together as a community. And as far as we know, most communities around the world have not been able to do that. A few people here and there. But if you keep in mind that we all should have been reading the Parsha each week, either on Shabbos morning or Friday afternoon, like he's mentioning here from Shulchan Aruch, so somehow or other, Torah has been read and studied and learned and hopefully internalized by the Jewish people. So even though it's not the way we would like, we are still engaging with Torah on a regular basis. Okay, back to the point here. So what about Shnayim Mikra Echad Targum? What about reading it twice in Hebrew, once in Aramaic translation? So normally he says you can start doing that after davening Mincha on the previous Shabbos. You can already start for next Shabbos's Parsha. For that Shabbos. However, according to Kabbalah, it's better to read it on Friday itself. When Yom Tov falls on Friday, what do? One cannot read the reading for Shabbos on Yom Tov, because you don't want to prepare for the next day on Yom Tov, nor is it proper to read on Friday night. Therefore, you should try to read it on Shabbat day before Shacharis, get up a little bit early in the morning and read, or after Musaf before the Shabbos meal. If you didn't finish before the meal, then you should read it during the day before Mincha. If you're unsure, so then you could start off on Friday night, he says. Okay, so that's about reviewing the Parsha. And again, anytime you do it is a good time. Some have the custom to read one aliyah per day. So you start on Sunday and you read the first aliyah of the coming Shabbos. So you've already got 1/7 under your belt. And Monday you read the second Sheni aliyah, and so on. A little bit more work when there's a double Parsha, but that's how we manage it. Okay, how about the spiritual dimensions of counting the Omer? Rabbi Jacobson. Day 40 is Hod Shebiyesod, according to the Sphira count in your Siddur on page 286. Hod Shebiyesod, humility in bonding. Humility is crucial in healthy bonding. Arrogance divides people. Preoccupation with your own desires and needs separates you from others. Humility allows you to appreciate another person and bond with them. Bonding that is just an extension of your own needs is only bonding tighter with yourself. Healthy bonding is the union of two distinct people with independent personalities who join for a higher purpose than satisfying their own needs. True humility comes from recognizing and acknowledging God in our lives. Questions to ask myself: am I aware of the third partner, who is Hashem, God, in bonding, and that this partner gives me the capacity to unite with another, despite our distinctions? Exercise for the day: during davening, if you haven't done it already, or the next time you daven, acknowledge God specifically for helping you bond with others. Have a good day.